Hey everyone, how are we today? Just doing a quick all signs reading today. We're going to be looking at the next phase of growth in your life. Okay, so uh, make sure you do subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all the readings. Currently, not able to upload quite as many as I would like. I've got quite a lot going on in my personal life, so I am prioritizing personal readings. If you would like a personal reading, make sure you check out the description box. All my info is there. You will also find the timestamps for this video as well, so you can jump ahead to your placements. Okay, and this week we are going to be using, I've got the Fortune Oracle here, as well as the Floral Lenormand. Okay, so starting off today with Aries. Okay, Aries, the next phase of growth in Aries life. The next big phase of growth for our Aries. Okay, Aries. Coming straight through with the World card energy here. Okay, be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. So, the next big phase for you is kind of a little bit of everything. When we do see that world energy, quite a lot of the time it does talk about, perspectives changing, and, because it quite often brings around that idea of, if you see the earth from space, you and your life is just this tiny little speck on the surface of this gigantic ball, but then when we're down in it, all we can see is what's around us. We can't see all the everything else going on in the world, you know what I mean? So a lot of the time it talks about changing perspectives and looking at things from a much broader perspective, like overview of everything, rather than just, the little tiny little things that you're getting caught up in. And it does say the possibilities in all areas of your life. So it kind of does feel here, Aries, that whatever the growth is coming through for you, it's kind of got this flow-on effect throughout your whole entire life. That, this growth aspect does seem to, help grow all different areas of your life. But we'll have a look here with the Lenormand as well. Aries, next phase of growth for our Aries. Next phase of growth for Aries. Destiny. Yeah, so it's definitely got to do with your perspective in the way that you're thinking about things. Firstly, we do see the cross coming through. So there is a strong pull of destiny, of having faith that, things are working out exactly how they need to for you here, Aries. Starting to, trust and have faith that you can follow, what is truly destined for you, and you can have those things. I do feel for a lot of you, Aries, there is a spiritual pull to certain things in your life at the moment that you're probably picking up on. But there is also this thing about, the things that you have felt this weird, odd sense of duty towards, these things that have felt like heavy on your shoulders, a responsibility to deal with this or that, and kind of like a burden more so than a responsibility. It's time for those to come to an end. It's not so much that you need to, stop feeling responsible for things that, because obviously a lot of us do have a lot of responsibilities in this world, and we do still need to take care of them, but it's the way that you're feeling them as a weight upon yourself. You're no longer sort of feeling that, it's closing the lid on this being a heavy negative weight on your shoulders. It's, this is my responsibility, I'm just going to get it done and move on with things. You're transforming the way that your perspective, the way that you're looking at these things. The coffin really is a transformative energy. It really talks about, the end of one thing, moving forward into a rebirth of something else here. So I do kind of feel as though it's the way that you're perceiving these things as burdens that's coming to an end, and you're now kind of like, no, they're not necessarily burdens, they're, responsibilities, but it's not that heavy on me, that I am falling, I'm sinking. I'm not sinking under the weight of these anymore. I'm choosing to look at this with a different perspective here, especially with the clouds coming through there as well. So the clouds really does talk about the way that you're thinking about things, the way that you have, been overthinking things and stressing yourself out about things. And it's kind of telling me, keep it simple, stupid. We quite often hear when we do start to overthink things, you're going snowballing out of control there with certain things, the way that you're thinking about them. So it is time to just get back to basics and stop holding on to these things as though they're this big heavy weight on you, and start seeing them from that greater perspective, drawing yourself out away from being stuck in these issues as a heavy thing right on you, but seeing it from a much broader perspective here. And no longer carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders here, Aries. Not allowing those things to drag you down into anxiety and depression. We're allowing those clouds to part, and just trusting and having faith that the universe has got a plan, and that's why certain things are happening, and you're trusting your intuition a fair bit here, Aries, as well, to know that all these things are happening for a reason, and it's time to let go of the weight of those things, and just start moving forward in a different kind of way. All right, but that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Taurus. Okay, Taurus, next phase of growth in Taurus's life. The next big phase of growth for our Taurus. I do apologize for any background noise. I do currently have the puppy sitting at my feet, trying to pull apart a cushion at the moment. We have the key coming through for you, Taurus. Now, this is a super positive energy for you. New beginnings, directions, and adventures await for those ready to let go of the past. So this aspect of growth coming through for you is, being able to let go of certain things that you maybe have held on to for quite a while here, so that you really can embrace new beginnings and new directions for yourself. And adventures, okay, it does have the word adventures in there. I do feel as though that may be very prominent for some of you here, Taurus, that whatever this new direction is, it feels adventurous. It feels like stepping outside of the comfort zone. Taurus, next phase of growth coming through for our Taurus, please. Okay, so Taurus, we firstly have the Tower coming through, followed by the Anchor. So this is kind of what's growing straight away, is that where the Anchor can kind of go two different ways, and the Tower can go a lot of different ways. But what we're seeing here with the Tower is that the past has been keeping you a little bit stuck here, keeping you isolated from your own truth and your own nurturing yourself and nurturing your life, because we also have the woman coming through there as well, which is very nurturing, emotional energy. But this Anchor has, up until now, it has kind of been keeping you a little bit stuck in the past, a little bit stuck, feeling very isolated, from your own future. Whereas what's kind of happening, this change, this growth that is occurring for you is, you may be doing it through spending some extra time, alone, deep in thought, that sort of stuff. But it's more about realizing that you're not actually stuck, that you can rely on yourself in a different kind of way, that you can rely on your independence and your authority over saying, what, I'm not going to allow this to hold me down. I'm going to use it to hold me steady. So I know that where I've come from, I can use that to ground me and hold me steady when I need to, and know that no matter what storm comes my way, I can be quite rigid and solid to get through that. It's kind of this energy of I've been through so much already that of course I can get through anything else. It's all this stuff that I've been through. It's no longer holding me back and holding me stuck in that stuff. But I'm using that now to make myself realize that, do you know what? If I can get through all that, I can get through anything. It's just kind of like a little bit of a perspective shift here, but it does sort of enable you to really find a lot more nurturing for your own self and nurturing for growth in your life, to be able to feel a little bit more emotionally attached to your own future and your own potential. Okay, so that's kind of how that's coming through there. I'm not really getting anything else coming off of that, but it does sort of, once again, it does show me that there definitely are some adventures ahead. It's just a matter of, using the past rather than it holding you back, to use it as a kind of like a stepping stone. So you can kind of see that if I've gotten through all that, who knows, I can get through anything. And if all that stuff's happened in the past, wow, absolutely anything can happen in the future as well. You kind of seeing that the amount of things that were unexpected, that if you didn't count on those things happening in the past, good and bad, but that shows you how much possibility there is for your future as well, good and bad, and that, oh, I can get through anything. And surely a lot of this stuff, all that bad stuff that's happened, surely it's time for some of the good stuff. So I'm going to start nurturing that positivity within my own self, because I know that I'm going to have I'm going to look for adventure rather than looking for, the things that have held me back. It's just a little bit of a perspective change there, Taurus, I feel. But that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay, Gemini, next phase of growth for our Geminis. Next phase of growth coming in for Gemini. We have the Mountain coming through for you, Gemini. Know that you are protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. Okay, so it does say, but remain cautious, but it's kind of just like, remain steadfast, remain determined to get through whatever comes your way. That yes, life is like that. Yes, sometimes things are more of a challenge than other things. You can't have the good stuff without having bad stuff as well. It's kind of the ebbs and flows of life, yeah. But I know that as soon as I overcome these mountains, overcome these obstacles, look, up here is the stars shining brightly in the sky, all my wishes and dreams and goals, that I can reach them as long as I just, keep putting one step ahead of the other and climbing. As long as I'm moving forward, moving in the direction of my goals and my wishes. Okay, so that's what's coming through there, Gemini. But we'll clarify with the lenormand as well. Gemini, next big area of growth for our Geminis, please. Okay, so I do have the Child coming through first and foremost, followed by the Whip. Okay, so the Whip is the card of trouble and tension and drama and, fighting kind of energy. So I'm not going to lie, especially with the Mountain here, that, need to remain cautious. There definitely could be some sort of obstacle coming up for you. But the thing with this energy is that this obstacle is actually giving you this opportunity to learn so much, especially with, we're starting off with that Child. It's just, it's just the beginning here. It's just the little child. It's still got so far to grow and learn about life. And so sometimes the best place for us to learn is through the harder stuff. It does just feel like it's a bit of a quarrel, a bit of a, for someone here, it's a lover's tiff kind of thing. It could just be just a little bit of drama or tension. For someone here, it may be, having a fight with your child, just having because it doesn't really feel like a fight as such as two different perspectives clashing is what's coming through here, that it's just two people with two different opinions. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that, and I feel like maybe that's why there's a bit of a conflict here, a bit of a conflict of interest, a bit of a conflict just of opinion. But because it's like, I don't feel that either of you is right or wrong. It just feels like two things that are different. And that's why we're in conflict. It just doesn't mean that you're right and that you're wrong. It doesn't mean that they are right or wrong. It's just different to what you think. That kind of thing is what's coming through here. We do have the house coming through as well. So it just feels like it's a bit of a challenge trying to unseat you from your sense of stability within your family. I feel for a lot of you, it does feel like it is family related. So definitely could be a parent-child type argument here, or it could be an argument with somebody within your family that you perceive as immature, or maybe they perceive you as immature. Okay. Just somebody a little bit maybe naive as well. It doesn't necessarily mean immaturity. It could just be, somebody who's a little bit naive and they haven't really, they just don't understand things to the same level as somebody else. And that's why there is just this conflict of interest coming through. It just unseats the stability a little bit. It doesn't feel like anything really huge, to be honest. It's like I said, it's more of a learning opportunity of how to deal with these sorts of things, and as you are protected as you face extra challenges. All right, so it's just a matter of just keep taking one step in front of the other, and you will still be in the right direction of your goals here. It's just sometimes we do need to work through this sort of energy along the way. So that's what's coming through here. But look for the opportunity to grow or help somebody else grow with this situation, Gemini, because it is coming through as the next phase of growth. Specifically, okay, but you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Cancer. Cancer, next phase of growth coming through for our Cancers. What's the next big area of growth in Cancer's life? That one. Okay, I don't know whether you could see that on the camera, but it kind of like did a cool little flip up in the air before it fell. Oh, which I'm not surprised, because it's the unicorn card. Okay. Success, hope, freedom, healing, and magic are all available to you if you just believe. Okay, so Cancer, this feels like it's a strong message about, do you choose to believe it? Do you choose to believe it? Because we all know unicorns aren't real, but they kind of are real in the minds of, children. They are real in books and movies. They are real in, you can walk down the street and you go into a store and you can see unicorns. Yeah, they may be, made out of plastic or ceramic, but they still exist. So when we say, I don't believe in something, but there is tangible proof that it exists in some form, is it really non-existent? It's kind of asking, like, I don't know why it's coming through like that, but it's kind of asking you to compromise on, if you're saying something can't exist for you, are you, what parameters are you putting on that? Because it may not exist for you in the thing that you're currently saying it should exist. or it doesn't exist, but it may exist for you in another way altogether. You know what I mean? It may not exist in your life as a living, breathing animal, but it may have the opportunity to exist in your life as ceramic decor, as, you know, a beautiful painting or something like that. It's kind of asking you to consider the unreal as possible, and to make these things possible, even if there's a part of you that says it's not possible, that there's always a way to twist it to make it possible for yourself here. Very interesting. I'm intrigued about it, what exactly this is for you here, Cancer. Cancer, next phase of growth for our Cancers, please. Believing, I think, Cancer too, a little bit here. We have the Child coming through first. And that's really kind of apt. Like I said, like children, unicorns are real in the minds of children. Children believe anything is possible. They see a closed door in front of them and then they go, ooh, there might be, you know, a whole different world behind that door. Narnia, right? There might be a unicorn in that room. They don't see it as just a locked, empty room. They see it as possibility. And that's sort of asking you to really embrace that innocent, playful part of yourself at the moment, Cancer. And that's actually where you're finding growth within self coming through. We have the Tree. It's telling you that, you know, looking after yourself right now is embracing that inner child that just wants to believe that anything is possible. That, you know what, if I dream it, it can come true. You know, the child that says, when I grow up, I want to be an astronaut, you know, sometimes turns into the child who spends their whole life working towards that goal. And they do prove, you know, once, like, you know, they end up in space. They're an astronaut. You know, I'm sure that there's probably astronauts that have got that same story, but you hear about that in a lot of different, you know, things that I dreamt ever since I was a little child of this and this and this. And then, you know, I wanted it so much that I made it happen for myself. And that's kind of what you're doing, is you're taking care of yourself by allowing yourself to believe and allowing yourself to know that there's the potential for growth here, that you have so far that you can grow yet. Even if you're no longer a child, that you still have a lot of, you know, growth and learning that you can do in yourself and in your life, and you can sort of branch out and try new things whenever you want, and you can embrace and nurture things in different kinds of ways. We do have the Stork as well. It really stirs something up within yourself here too, to come up with these new ideas on how you can, you know, explore the world in a different kind of a way, where you can, you know, perceive the world as though it's this adventure just waiting to happen. That, you know, perceive the world as though, you know, I'm just looking for that unicorn, and I'm going to find it. And in maybe it's not going to be that living, breathing animal that I was initially thinking it was, but I'm going to embrace the possibility that it could actually be anything. And then, you know what, you walk down the street and bang, there's a unicorn in a shop window, and it's a giant big plushie, and it's even better than a living, breathing animal, because you can, you know, snuggle with it every single night in bed. So it really stirs up this energy within you and gets things really moving forward for you in your life in a way that you didn't even ever imagine. It really, it's like an opportunity for embracing the adventure and coming up with new ways on you know, how to grow more in your life, how to branch out, how to learn more, how to, you know, find adventure, find the things that you're looking for. It's just kind of talking about, maybe it's just in a slightly different way to what you're currently imagining. And that's what the Stork really does. It stirs up brand new ideas on how to find these things, and then, you know, takes off straight towards those goals as well, Cancer. So you really are moving in the right direction. All right, but that's what we have for you today. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Leo. Okay, Leo. Next big area of growth for our Leos. Okay, Leo, next phase of growth for your life. For some reason, I'm hearing the phrase, your life, if you should choose to accept it. Oh, okay. And then I see the card that I've drawn for you, which is the Phoenix. Okay, Leo. Some really lovely Leo fire energy here as well. But, your life, if you should choose to accept it, because the life that you have lived up until now, you're being offered this opportunity to grow and change your life completely, enter into a brand new version of your own life, brand new version of yourself, like a phoenix rising from the ashes of the past here. It does say, be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. So whatever you've been going through here, Leo, this is, the ashes have been sprinkled, and it's time for you to shoot up from those into this fiery, ball of bird, this phoenix rising from those ashes. Your new life is just beginning, kind of energy. So it's not just a next phase of growth. It's like a whole brand new phase of life for you here, Leo. Unleashed. I'm hearing some just random phrases. The keyword unleashed coming through here. Leo, next phase of growth coming through for our Leos. Ooh, okay. We have the bouquet coming through first, the flowers there. So this is like a gift from the universe, a gift from somebody. The flowers quite often is about, reciprocal energy. The more that you give time, love, energy to people, things, the more that you receive back as well. We do have the ring coming through next. So you maybe have been giving a lot to certain relationships in your life, or you've been noticing even, in this period of crisis that certain relationships just aren't giving back the same amount of time, love, energy that you've been giving to those, and it's kind of giving you this opportunity to look at patterns of giving and receiving in your world, in your relationships especially, and being able to choose at the moment to move forward in a brand new version of these relationships, and decide whether you want to break these cycles, or allow them to rise from the ashes and be renewed, in stronger forms. We also have the letter here as well. So for a lot of you, you may actually be receiving actual communication, and being given the opportunity to really actually talk this through with the people as well. That because I'm just feeling that this is like in a lot of ways, there's a level of maturity here as well, Leo, where it's this new phase of life where you can actually talk this thing through, like, very bluntly, that, like in the past, you may never have felt comfortable to say to somebody, look, I just want us to talk about, how much time, love, energy we're both giving to the relationship, and the person being able to, come at it with you, and work towards a common goal with the relationship of saying, and, because I am sort of picking up on somebody saying to you, do you know what, Leo, you're right. I haven't been giving enough XYZ, but I do feel like you, Leo, maybe this would actually help, and coming to some sort of resolution here, together, and through communication, and honest, open communication, with the people that you care about, and that's what it feels like here, is that it's that you care about these people, and they care about you. It goes both ways. This relationship goes both ways, and it's time to maybe call somebody out for falling behind a little bit, or it's time to really, like, rise from the ashes in a much more mature perspective of how we do communicate within relationships and things like that. So it just feels like very heavy on the communication there, Leo. I do want to say as well, I'm picking up here for a couple of you, there is specific it's specific news on the way, like a communication or paperwork on the way in regard to like a gift. Like a gift from a gift. I don't know if it's somebody that you had a strong relationship with, or whether the gift is a ring. But I'm just sort of picking up on like a letter about a ring, or a letter that like has a ring in the letter, and it's a gift to you. Like, oh, Leo, see, I don't. It's not being very specific there, but for some of you there is a gift as well, like a physical gift. It may be a physical gift of a ring as well. So, yeah, okay. Well, that's what we have for you, Leo. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll move on to Virgo. Virgo, next big area of growth for our Virgos. Next phase of growth in Virgo's life. Dragonfly. Have confidence during this time of great joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. Okay, so the dragonfly energy is a transformative kind of energy. Virgo, I really do feel we actually had the dragonfly energy for you in a very recent reading. Was it the love check-in reading? One of the most recent readings, we definitely picked up on this same energy for you, Virgo. Because I remember talking to you about the, dragonflies need to kind of rest on a stick for, and spread their wings and practice spreading their wings before they can actually take off and fly. But it's kind of reassuring us that we're moving forward in that process, that, we are definitely, well, it does feel like a couple of days after the prior energy. So it's definitely like a moving forward type energy here. And this one does talk about a time of great joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. The connection to spirit does feel very strong here, that there may be a lot of growth for you in the near future when it comes to your spiritual self. Okay, joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. Okay, Virgo, next big area of growth for our Virgos. Oh, I actually saw that one while I was shuffling. This is actually really good news for you here, Virgo. Not going to lie, because we have the fish coming through first. And I did see that when I was shuffling then as well. It kind of flipped and I just put it back in and kept shuffling. And then it's the first card that's come out. So it is obviously meant to be yours, which is awesome, since that is the card of abundance, of wealth. Not just financial wealth, but all sorts of wealth, but I do sort of feel that because it has come out so prominently here, that for quite a lot of you, there may be some message of financial growth coming through for you in the near future here as well, where it's giving you this opportunity to spread your wings a little bit more. That you may have been feeling a little bit restricted financially, and I'm not saying that this is like some huge big, like millions of dollars being added to your bank account. It's just giving you room to spread your wings a little bit more here, that you're not feeling so constricted when it comes to money. But we do have the stars coming through as well, so I'm not gonna say that for some of you it definitely could be like a wish being granted on a financial level, a goal that is being met for you financially. So it could actually be a little bit more significant than just a small amount of money here. This is dreams coming true. So I'm also picking up here, Virgo, that for a couple of you, it's not so much that the money is here, right now. It's that you're seeing, something is happening. It's kind of like you're seeing something start to take off, and you're starting to realize that that dream is going to come true. It still may take a little bit of time to actually, fully realized, but it's kind of like you're getting some sort of indication that this is working, this is going in the right direction, that it's not going to fail, that it's going to come true. This wish is going to come true. Um, so things are moving in the right direction. There's a reason for a sense of joy here. We also have the anchor as well, so that does sort of show me that it's it's kind of this steady energy that it's a steady progress towards your goals being met here. It's not a bang $20 million out of nowhere. It's a steady progress towards a goal of knowing that it is going to happen for me. It's just step by step by step. That I know I can rely on that wish coming true now. I have more faith and sturdiness when it comes to knowing that is really going to happen for me, which brings about a lot of joy and sense of renewal. That this is amazing. It's a brand new chance, a brand new time to spread my wings and move a little bit further and start setting higher goals, in the future as well here, Virgo. So that's what we have for you. What an amazing one for you. I'm really happy for you there, Virgo. But you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Libra. Okay, Libra, next phase of growth coming through for Libra. Next big area of growth for our Libra, we have transformation. Okay, breaking those chains. Reach out for the power and strength to make changes, enriching your life and becoming the person that you want to be. So that's kind of the next big phase of growth for you, I feel, Libra, just coming through very strongly, that this is you actually breaking those chains. This is you actually going, you know what, I'm going to be the change that I want to see in my life. I'm going to actually take some action. I'm going to make that change for myself. I feel as though a lot of you have been kind of holding back on something, and this is where you're like, that's it. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stop thinking about it, and I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to change that thing. If I'm not happy with it, I'm going to change it. I'm not going to sit back and hope for things to change for me. I'm going to take control and change it myself. Next phase of growth for Libra. Strong energy, Libra. We have the sun coming through first. Happiness, okay? Reaching for your happiness. This is certain things coming to light. I do feel for some of you there is some sort of, personal epiphany or something, that you're finding out, that's sort of coming out into the light, becoming known to you here, where it is really about you taking control, though. We have the masculine there as well. So the masculine is the one that takes actions and, takes control, is a little bit more forceful with the way that they do things. They take control rather than just allow things to happen. They're non-emotional about it too. They sort of very logical and rational, that if I want this to change, I need to do something about it. And so the power is really in your hands here. Something coming to light about you needing to be a little bit more boss energy of yourself and of your life here. We also have the cross coming through as well. So this is really about, it's blending well with that masculine energy. It's because you're having faith that I'm going to make these changes and they are going to work out for me. That this is part of my destiny to have this change happen in my life. So I'm sick of waiting for it to happen. I'm going to make it happen. It's not necessarily showing me strictly what this is in regard to, but I do feel as though this is something that you have felt is destined to be yours, and you're sick of waiting for it to happen. You're just going to go ahead and make it happen one way or another. You're taking charge of this growth in your life, Libra, which that seems to be the main part of the growth, is that you're the one taking action, you're the one taking control. Okay, so that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Scorpios. Okay, Scorpio, next phase of growth for our Scorpios. Next big area of growth in Scorpio's life, please. Chariot. Some of you straight away, the Chariot is, you know, a very old sort of symbol for, you know, what we would now see as a car, generally speaking. So for some of you, the next big change in your life is pretty straightforward. A car, you know, a plane trip, a boat trip, you know, travel of some sort for some of you, or even a physical, you know, car or bike that you're purchasing, that sort of thing. Charge ahead with confidence, stay strong and focused. So it's movement one way or another. I do feel that for a lot of you, though, it is a lot more physical, tangible, that pardon, this Chariot is a means of delivering you there, kind of thing. So a car or whatever. So some of you definitely, that may be the next thing of growth in your life, is that you're, you know, you've saved up enough money for that car you want, or that bike you want, or whatever that is. You know, a form of movement of some sort, a form of travel for a lot of you here. For everybody else, that is just sort of moving forward and charging ahead into your life in general, with confidence backing you up, that you are moving forward rather than backwards or being stuck. But clarifying that energy for you. Next phase of growth for our Scorpios. The moon flying out there first, Scorpio. So that is trusting your intuition very heavily here, Scorpio, to know that you're moving in the right direction, and that your heart is guiding you to the right direction. The things that, you know, if you feel emotional about something, good and bad emotions, that's a clue to you that you care about that. Okay, so whatever we're moving towards here, it's very giving, drawn, the way that the tides are drawn in and out, that it's like this magnetic pull, that you're just trusting that's where I need to go. That's where I'm feeling drawn to. So that's the direction I'm going here. We do also have here the house and the mountains. Okay, so for some of you, this is legitimately like, you know, the form of travel mixed in with the house and the mountains. This could be like a camper van, or a caravan, or something along those lines, where you're literally, you know, making it possible for yourself to, you know, go and stay in the mountains whenever you want to, whenever the mood strikes to travel and whatnot. So that may be the transport, the you know, moving to, like, traveling to something. For some of you, it may be, once again, very physical. A house in the mountains, a little cabin in the mountains, a cabin in the woods is coming through there. But otherwise, this is, you know, a sense of security that you've been feeling like has been delayed in your life, has been some sort of blockage for you here. There's been a blockage in the past where you've kind of been feeling like, no matter how hard I work, I can't get to this level of stability and security that I've wanted for myself. And now you're actually finding that, you know, through, you know, trusting that pull, that you're feeling drawn to these things, and you are starting to move forwards. It's so, for a lot of you, that's the next big phase of growth, is just this feeling of actually moving forwards, rather than being stuck. And it's actually helping you find a lot more stability in your life, and knowing that you can overcome any challenges. You know that, you know, your hard work has actually gotten you somewhere and will continue to do so. Okay, so that's what we have for you, Scorpio. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements and see how they all sort of commingle there. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to move on over to our Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. Next phase of growth for our Sagittarius. Whoop, just 1 second. Sorry about that, Sagittarius. The pup just decided to jump up on my desk here, so that's lots of fun. So sorry about the weird shaky moment and me sort of freaking out and pausing for a second. Sagittarius. So that kind of actually makes me feel as though, the next growth coming in for you, Sagittarius, it may be sort of very pounce on you kind of change. Let me see. Sagittarius, next phase of growth for our Sagittarians, please. Oh, interesting. We have the Fool card coming through here. I'm hearing the phrase fool's gold as well. Not all that glitters is gold. Something about that there. We'll get to that as well. But have the courage to embrace change. Take risks and be adventurous. So it's kind of like I'm getting a few messages coming through here, Sagittarius, that you never know until you try. Sometimes you need to fall down so that just specifically so that you can pick yourself back up and try again. Sometimes it's worth taking those risks, even knowing that you may fall, because it's about picking yourself back up and trying again and taking another risk. And, it's kind of giving that energy of, courage a lot of the time comes from not just taking the risks that are going to pay off, but sometimes taking the risks that you really don't know if it's going to work out at all. And even if you feel like you're going to fail, sometimes it's worth taking that risk just to kind of like practice, I suppose. That fool's gold, that sometimes, taking those risks actually helps you then know the difference between what's the fool's gold and what's the real gold in the future. So I am getting that kind of like energy here of taking a leap towards something and then realizing that's not right, and getting back up, trying again, and then the next thing is the thing that is actually the gold. Okay, but we'll have a look here. Sagittarius, the next phase of growth for our Sagittarius, please. Definitely needing to take chances at the moment, Sagittarius. Because the fool's gold thing, okay, it does feel as though these two are the fool's gold, and then we have the clover here, which is getting back up and taking that risk and trying again, and then it starts to pay off for you. So what I'm seeing here, we have the garden and the fox. Okay, so this is some sort of public, more social kind of energy, I feel. It may be like a meeting of some sort. The garden really does talk about a meeting. Sometimes it can talk about dating, or a date that you're going on here. If you are a single, I feel like that's specifically single Sagittarius. This may be a date that you go on, and you put yourself out there kind of energy, and you go and meet this person in public, and that's where that fall over, got to get back up on and try again sort of energy is coming through here. That fox does sort of let us know to be cautious, be clever about the way that you're doing things. So if you are meeting someone, make sure it's in public, rather than in a private place where you're not public. Public is definitely coming through here, but it can also just talk about meeting up with friends and just needing to be very independent and do what you need to do, say what you need to say. It's kind of this energy of the used car salesman, where they'll sell up all the really good positive stuff, but they won't necessarily be open up with the full truth. They may just sort of protect themselves a little bit here as well, and try to get what they need out of the situation, which is the sale. And that's kind of what you're needing to do here, is just be very intelligent about the way that you're broaching things, and social situations and meetings with people, that you're just being very independent and doing what you need to do for you in the situation. You're not putting other people's needs ahead of your own in those situations. Okay, but then you are taking that risk, so it may feel like it's a risk to go and meet this person and get to know them, and maybe it does fall flat on its face, but then it's sort of giving you that confidence to try again, and maybe the next time it's going to be a better risk, a better investment for you, something worth waiting for, sort of thing. So that clover really does talk about jumping in the deep end and taking those risks, taking a chance. But I've currently got the pup here on my lap trying to attack my cards. So that's what we have for you. You're more than welcome to check your other placements. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Capricorn. Okay, so moving on to our Capricorn. The next phase of growth coming through for Capricorn. Next big area of growth for Capricorn, please. Oh, proposal, Capricorn. Don't get your knickers in a knot, Capricorn. A romantic or business opportunity is indicated, okay? So this proposal doesn't necessarily mean that it's like an engagement proposal, all right? So don't get too overly excited. Some of you, that's not going to be the engagement that you're dreaming of, yeah? It could just be some sort of proposition, proposal that's being placed in your lap, kind of thing, whether it be business or otherwise. It could even just be like some sort of new contract that you're sort of moving towards, financial contracts and things like that coming through there as well. But we'll clarify with the lenormand and see if that wants to give us any extra info. Okay, that one came flying out, Capricorn. That's the book. So definitely, paperwork isn't going to be involved here. I do feel with the book coming through there, the next chapter coming through, starting some new contract, that sort of stuff. Definitely, contracts and forms being filled in with that book energy there. For some of you, it may be a proposal to undertake some sort of training, that sort of stuff, further education. Clarify this energy for Capricorn. Next phase of growth for Capricorn, please. On the bottom of the deck there, we have the fish, Capricorn, which I'm sure you'll love to know is the card of abundance, of finances improving there as well. But like I said, with that book here, sometimes it can be, knowledge being increased, educational stuff, contracts being signed, that sort of thing. But it leads you towards this flowers and house energy. So for some of you, straight away, this is actually, house contract, that kind of thing, signing documents are for, an investment property, a property in general, even just a rental property, those sorts of things. It could also be like some sort of business. It does sort of talk about a more solid foundational type energy, where it's, putting down a solid, that's where my business is located kind of energy. So it could be that for some of you as well, or it could have something to do with the housing industry, these contracts that are being signed, that sort of stuff. But we do have the bouquet in the center there as well. So it's kind of like a gift from the universe in a way here, that this is kind of, I feel like for a lot of you, this is coming through feeling like it's a gift for you to be, it feels like you're receiving this from the universe, this opportunity or this contract, this proposal does seem to feel like very, very close to a gift for you here. But the bouquet does talk about reciprocal energy. It's like the more that you put in, the more that you get back out as well. So there may be, but you're a Capricorn, right? So if it's a work-related thing, we already know that you have the wherewithal to put in and therefore get back from this opportunity as well. So, but it's like, the more you're giving of your time, your love, your energy, your dedication, your hard work, all those sorts of things, the more that you actually receive back in return. And what you are receiving back is this property. For some of you, it's an actual property, but for others, it could just be, you know, some sort of sense of greater stability and security in your life as well. So for some of you, that's what you're receiving back here is greater job security, greater financial security, those sorts of things as well. So definitely looking good on the business front for this particular reading here, Capricorn. Some sort of business opportunity is the most prominent energy here. But you know, you're more than welcome to check your other signs, you know, if you're wanting, you know, more than just business related proposals in your energy. Check those out and see what they can add to your story for you there. Okay, but make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. The next phase of growth for Aquarius. The next phase of growth for Aquarius's life, please. Dragonfly energy. Okay, we had this same card for Virgo as well. So if you do have strong Virgo placements, you may want to check that one out as well. Have confidence during this time of great joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. Okay, so the dragonfly energy has been coming up a lot lately, and something that I find very important with the dragonfly energy is to know that dragonflies, when they, you know, when they're hatch from their larva or whatever it is that they do, they actually need to like rest on a stick for a few hours, stretching their wings and so, you know, flapping their wings open and shut before they can actually take off and fly. All right. And so that's what I'm kind of feeling for you here, Aquarius, that, you know, knowing that joy and renewal, you're already on the right path, but you feel like you're kind of sitting and stretching those wings out a little bit at the moment, just sort of getting a feel for the air currents and that sort of a thing, trying to, you know, connect to on a deeper level to, you know, the world around you. And you know, it does say spirit, but it does feel more like you're actually trying to connect a little bit more to the people and you know, the reality that you find yourself in here. But there is a lot of joy and renewal energy there as well. It's kind of like, you know, things are about to take off in your life, but it's just a matter of where exactly and what exactly, you know, they're going to do. You're just sort of testing the waters and seeing how it feels. I do feel this strong connection to, you know, deepening connections around you to the greater world around you. So I don't know exactly what that means for you, but we'll see what the lenormand has to say. Aquarius, next big area of growth for Aquarius. What's the next phase of growth for Aquarius, please? Interesting. I did have a kind of similar energy for Capricorn as well. So some of you may want to watch that if you do have strong Capricorn or you're on the cusp. Firstly, we have the book coming through. So this is kind of, it's just giving me the keyword of learning, that you're learning learning a little bit more. You're learning a little bit deeper. You're gaining a little bit more knowledge and insight into things. But it's coming through with this key energy in the center. And the key does talk about new opportunities, new doors opening to you here. And it does kind of feel as though this is just you learning about new opportunities or new potential that you have. For some of you, there may be, one of these may or may not be connected to, you know, actual learning, education type opportunities as well for someone there. But it just kind of feels like you're learning about these new opportunities, that you're kind of sitting, you're that dragonfly just sitting there on that stick, stretching your wings. And as you are doing that, you're learning about, I learn of this thing. I never even contemplated that. And that could actually be an opportunity for me. That could be a door I want to walk through. And I'll learn about this opportunity. And maybe that would be the door I want to walk through, the direction I want to go here. So it's kind of just it's very straightforward, just saying, learning about new opportunities that are available to you. And it's kind of, you know, with the with the key here, the key always does lead us to success, no matter which door we choose. But then that's followed by the bouquet. So it's kind of saying here with the bouquet that as long as you give to this opportunity and you give it your all, you will receive back from that as well. So it's kind of like, it's whatever door you choose, you throw your whole self into it and you will receive back from that, and you will receive that success, success from those opportunities that you give yourself to. The bouquet does talk about giving your time, your love, your energy, sometimes even your money to things, and you will receive back tenfold. I do also feel like the need to say giving your hard work and your moral integrity is coming through there as well. So those giving those things will help you receive back in return success in those ventures. All right, so you do have a few opportunities that are going to be available to you, and you're only just starting to learn about those. Whether it's learning about those in the sense of you're just becoming, you're just gaining an awareness of those things. Because I think for some of you, that's all it is. But for the rest of you, you actually are getting some sort of communication about, here's this opportunity. Would you like to do this, Aquarius? Aquarius, can you help out with that? Those sorts of things as well. All right, definitely coming through strong. But that's what we have for you, Aquarius. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements. Subscribe to the channel, of course, and we will move on over to our Pisces. Okay, Pisces. Pisces, next phase of growth in Pisces life. Next big area of growth for our Pisces, please. Proposal, Pisces. We had this same card for Capricorn. So if you do have strong Capricorn placements, you may want to check that particular one out as well. It doesn't necessarily mean a romantic proposal, as in an engagement, but it definitely could for someone there. But it does say a romantic or business opportunity is indicated. All right, so when this came through for Capricorn, it was very, very heavily a business opportunity. But for some of you here, Pisces, it's some of you, it's a romantic opportunity, a romantic proposal. But for others of you, this is something else altogether. It's not romantic or business. This is something else altogether. Do you know what I'm actually picking up here, Pisces? That there is one of you where this is actually something to do with surrogacy or an adoption. I'll delve into the lenormand though and see what wants to be known. Next phase of growth for our Pisces. Pisces. Next phase of growth for our Pisces, please. I don't know who that would be for. That's not my Pisces friends, that's for sure. Although, starting off with the clouds. Okay, so whatever this proposal is, it puts you heavy into your thought space here. It makes you really sort of do need to think this out very, very clearly. So it's something I would say, when this proposal comes your way, Pisces, don't just jump into an answer one way or another. This is not like, someone gets down on their knees and you say yes immediately. No, you really actually need to think this out. So, for those of you where that may actually be an engagement proposal, I would suggest thinking it through very clearly before it even happens to make sure you know how you're going to respond. Because for someone there you may respond in a way that you're not actually happy with in the future. I'm just kind of picking up on someone getting proposed to, saying yes, and then, after I've had time to think about it, I'm like, maybe I actually don't want to get married to you. Rough. Sorry. But yeah, it's very important to think it through very, very clearly, to be very logical and rational about this proposal that's being handed to you, okay? Because I do want to straight away say not everything has come to light yet, because, not only do we have the clouds there, that's followed by the fox. All right. And you can see those clouds. If there's a moon or a sun in that sky, we cannot see them. The clouds are too far in the way. So we need to use a lot of very critical thinking, rational, logical, clever, intelligent thinking in order to part those clouds and get to this sun. Okay, at the third card here. So the fox does talk about, once again, being very logical and rational and intelligent, very clever with the way that we're thinking about this proposal, the way that we're taking this on board. We need to be very, thinking about what is actually best for us, not what's best for the situation or for everybody else, but for us, our own survival here. The fox is very independent, to the point of sometimes can be selfish. All right. So actually needing to embrace that when it comes to your thought processes here with this proposal, Pisces, that you do need to maybe be a little bit more selfish about this and really think about what's the most selfish, what would be the most selfish response to this proposal. What would be, the opposite to that, and finding the spot that you're actually comfortable with as your resulting answer. So you're needing to sort of very, very clearly stand up for yourself when it comes to this proposal. All right, because not everything has yet come to light. This sun comes after the clouds and the fox. This sun comes after you have, stood your ground and thought things through very clearly. Then something comes to light about this proposal. So it's kind of this energy here of not all that glitters is gold kind of thing, that there's some fine print. Okay, there's some fine print to this proposal that you need to really very, very clearly think all the potential consequences through very, very clearly with this, and really think about what you need, not what they want or what other people, why they're, there's something else that just hasn't come out into the open yet with this. And you may realize what that is through your thinking things through so cleverly. You may actually start to understand that, hang on, there's a loophole here. There's a fine print here that it wasn't clear from the start. And if I'm looking out for myself, I need to be very aware of this little fine print. All right. Ultimate happiness, though, the sun does lead us to happiness. So regardless of what's going on here, this is a phase of finding happiness for yourself and putting your own happiness first as well. So it does seem to be very important to check the fine print and really think this out very, very clearly. But I do sort of think that for some of you, you are going ahead with this proposal. It is working out in your favor. It is working into your happiness in the long run. It's just the need to actually think it through very, very clearly and make sure you are fully aware of all the fine print here, because for some of you that's not necessarily just a proposal. It could be like some sort of contract that you're being asked to sort of sign and things like that as well. So really taking that into consideration and thinking it through very, very clearly before you decide one way or another. So it's not sort of showing me, some of you you're going one way and the others you're going the other. And either way, though, it's for your own happiness and your own, your own good there, and you really need to think it through, and then you will know which way will make you happy for your decisions. All right, so your happiness needs to be the priority here. You really need to put yourself first when it comes to this proposal, this contract. Really think it through and make sure we're checking out the fine print on all those sorts of things as well. All right, so that's what we have for you today, Pisces. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all again soon.